Welcome to the World United.
Welcome to the World United.
Dianne Collins is the creator of Quantum Think System of Thinking. She's an award-winning author of the bestseller Do You Quantum Think? And video masterclass producer of Master Your Mind, Master Your Life. A highly acclaimed leader of New Consciousness, popular media personality, and strategic consultant to executives, she is dedicated to people living spirited, joyful, and masterful lives through leaps in awareness and new thinking. Dianne is known for her upbeat style and ability to express complex universal subjects in clear and powerful ways. She's been interviewed on hundreds of radios and TV shows and is a featured blogger on the Huffington Post, a recipient of the Top 20 Conscientious Entrepreneurs Award, and was invited to present in Florida International University's program in the study of spirituality, along with distinguished speakers, including His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And in the 21 Principles of Quantum Think, Dianne Collins blends scientific insight and spiritual knowledge into practical wisdom that has us create real solutions for modern lives, from inner serenity and relationships to business results and global affairs. So it's my pleasure to introduce Dianne.
Thank you so much, Mike. And hello and welcome, everyone. I'm honored and absolutely delighted to be here with you. And I want to express many thanks to Dr. Yugandhar and the staff and volunteers of the World United for putting together a truly unprecedented, magnificent gathering for elevating the consciousness of our humanity. There's so much talent and intelligence and heart and spirit in this worldwide, global, virtual room of the World United. So let's just take a moment together and just tune into one another wherever you are, whenever you're watching this, and take a deep, conscious breath together. Inhale that beautiful prana life force. As you consider this, I just want to take the life force breath in myself. If you want a world united, you have to have a self united. Now, we often speak about a higher self, higher consciousness. What does it really mean? Is there a lower self? So you can see right away that in our language, we are creating separation right there. Yet, our desire is for the highest state, and that cannot be two. The wisdom is, it must be one. So how do we know this wisdom in our experience? How do we reconcile this paradox of the lower and the higher aspects of ourselves? In this universe of oneness, we could say it this way: there are distinctions, yet no actual separations. And we can make distinctions within the unity. We can distinguish our transcendent self, that infinite, unbounded awareness that is one with all that is, in the Sanskrit, Satchit Dhananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. The nature of the self, truth, consciousness, bliss, Brahman, the ultimate unchanging reality. And there is the manifest, immanent, worldly self, the identity of all the roles we each play out in our everyday worldly life. The unique gifts and talents included that we came into this incarnation endowed with, for us to evolve ourselves and with which to serve others. So from a quantum think perspective, we live these two united, conscious of the transcendent self and the immanent worldly self, simultaneously with a consciousness of that. Hence, a brilliant quantum paradox. And the quantum world is full of paradox, you may know. Your mind is your life, and you are not your mind. Your mind is your life, and you are not your mind. Your mind is your life because what fills your mind in any given moment is giving you your experience of life in that moment. And yet you are not your mind because you are that unbounded awareness that can be aware of what fills your mind. Now, often the mind can take us where we don't especially want to go. And also the mind can be the source of our greatest experience of happiness, joy, peace, tranquility, inspiration, genius, creativity, and yes, unity. And this is why I say the only thing to master really is your very own mind. In this conversation, I offered that there is one essential principle for mastering your mind. So what is that principle? In the quantum think system of thinking, we call this principle observer-created reality. It has its basis in a quantum scientific principle as well as in the ageless spiritual wisdom. The sages say, the world exists on the screen of your own consciousness. There is no separation between you and what you observe. The observer and the observed are one. Scientists tell us we live in an observer-created reality, that there's no objective reality out there separate from ourselves. And that reality is a function of our own observation. Now, in this sense, observation does not mean what you see with your visual, with the ordinary five senses. Observation in this sense means what we hold in consciousness, what we hold in awareness. In quantum think, I say it this way: in an observer-created reality, what you bring is what you get. What you bring to your observation in any moment is shaping what you experience, I should say, in every moment. And that might be your interpretations, your judgments, your conclusions, your beliefs. These are all shaping what we see. Now, you don't need a sage or a scientist or me to tell you this, that what fills your mind gives you your experience of life moment by moment. You experience this yourself directly. Thought creates reality. As you think, so you become. Now, as I was growing up, along the way I learned, which I'm sure you did as well, thought creates reality. The mastery traditions proclaim this. As you think, so you become. The Buddha said, all that you are is a result of what you have thought. The Christian and Judaic Bibles reads, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. In the Upanishads, the Rishis, the holy men of ancient India teach, one's own thought is one's world. What a person thinks is what he becomes. Thought is the foundation of everything from the small individual action and idea to our large collective reality. Every one of the institutions we live within, our educational, governmental, judicial, economic, health systems, regardless of what culture you reside in, all of these begin, are sustained, and end in thought. Our predominant habits of thinking shape our actions and generate all of our results. Therefore, we can say the mind, an individualized form of the all-pervasive consciousness from which thought derives, is the great instrument of life that we've been given to create with. What fills our consciousness, our thoughts powered by intent, the meanings we ascribe to our thoughts, and our emotional responses to those meanings give us our moment-to-moment experience, determining our actions and therefore our outcomes. Now, some people think the mind is not too important because they say what really matters is beyond mind, beyond thinking, and beyond language, in that place of wordless silence. Clearly, we could never fully express the eternal, mysterious nature of existence in words alone, yet any attempt to capture practical daily reality is nevertheless encased in thought, language, and meaning. Language is the way human beings relate to the world and make things real. Even the idea beyond thought, even that is a thought in language. So the idea of anything, of soul, of spirit, of heart, the sacred, the void, the silence, is only possible because we can think those thoughts and express them in language. Words are infused with Shakti, universal spiritual energy, life force. And this is why mastery of the mind, a mind united in its transcendent and immanent states, is vital to living a spiritual life. What you say, how you listen, this is your life, moment by moment. So we can say all we want about going beyond the mind, but the fact is we still have the mind to deal with. And yet, you could say, your mind is your life. I know it doesn't look that way to the world of our ordinary sense perception that separates our world into parts, into inner and outer realities. You think, oh, that's my reality out there somewhere. And yet, the sages say, the world exists on the screen of your own consciousness. The scientists tell us we live in an observer-created reality. There is no objective reality out there. It's all within us. Reality is a function of our own observing it to be so. In quantum science, mind-to-mind and mind-to-matter connections and influences are ordinary facts of life. So when you're experiencing and embracing the principle of the observer-created reality as an essential principle for mastering the mind, what happens is you realize what you hold in mind in your awareness. Moment to moment creates your experience of life. And I consider this the highest responsibility that each one of us have, to master what we hold in mind. We're emanating that out to the world. So one other thing about the observer effect is a field effect. It's not a cause and effect. I think this and something shows up. So it really is what we hold in our consciousness. That is in a very large way, a very important way, a big aspect of what we contribute. Therefore, it's wise for us to be vigilant about what we think. Now, for the most part, we're not always attentive to that. Maybe we have affirmations we practice. We stick them on our wall or on our desk, and that's great. But what about all the thoughts in between? When you integrate this principle, observer-created reality as a way of life, when you realize that you and I are 100% responsible, this is the good news, for our experience of life. This is fabulous news. Now, it doesn't mean that you can control the circumstances of life that come your way. It does mean that you can command your relationship to those circumstances. That is mastery. This requires a literal quantum leap in consciousness. And we can take that leap right now. So you ask, well, can you control your thoughts? No, not really. Then what can you do? You can create a new relationships with your thoughts. You don't have to identify with every thought that happens to cross what I like to call your thoughtosphere, your surrounding field of energy intelligence. Okay? Your thoughts and the divine source that gives rise to your thoughts, that is one and the same mind. The oneness of the systems which constitute life have been here forever. So let's look at just a couple of misconceptions about separateness for a greater experience of unity within ourselves in this very moment. Think about it. Science and spirituality took separate forks in the road, yet they were never actually separate. Along the development of human affairs, we distinguished them, distinctions, not separation, and then we forgot that we did that. Now quantum discoveries are verifying what perennial wisdom traditions have declared since time immemorial, that we exist in a unified field, that we are aspects of the same one universal mind, that we are connected through energy intelligent fields. Science and spirituality are once again acknowledging their essential unity. So how do we experience a self united? There's a little bit of a popular theme in conscious cultures to drop thinking and the intellect, sometimes often synonymous with mind when they talk about it, in favor of the heart. If science and spirituality are remembering to converge and converse, then shouldn't the heart and mind acknowledge their innate convergence also? If we conclude that we cannot think and act from the heart and mind simultaneously, we put mistaken human limits on infinite intelligence. The masters say the heart is the center of the mind and the mind is located in the spiritual heart. So isn't it possible that you and I can think from our hearts? Of course we can. Without mastery of the mind, nothing really works that well. So awareness, think about it, alone is not enough. Mindfulness is a great start. We need that. However, mindfulness, consider it, it's not mastery. People used to say practice makes perfect. Today we can say practice is perfect. The paradox of mastery is that it's a practice, a moment by moment proposition. It's not a one-time event. Its mastery is awareness in action, awareness with action, so important today. If you want to master your life and the world, you have to master your mind. Mind is the friend of differentiation, the play of consciousness, as it is called by the masters, the exquisite, elegant dance of distinctions that we call our reality. So the quantum observer created reality means we actively participate in what we experience, in what we manifest, in what shows up in our experience. You and I are human creators, co-creators. Our own human consciousness that we have been divinely endowed with is the creative force. It's our clay for creation. Observation is what you hold in awareness. Observation is a creative act. It's an act of consciousness. It is you participating in what you experience and call your reality. What you bring is what you get. A great master said, you can only manifest what you are conscious of being. In an observer-created reality, the observer and that which observed are one. As daunting as it seems to grasp this, there's no reality outside of our own, what we hold in our awareness. That each of us holds the world of our reality within our own being. As daunting as that is, every time you bring yourself to the state where you become aware of yourself as the observer in an observer-created reality, what happens is you distinguish yourself from any fixed set of attributes or circumstances that you've been identifying with. You don't have to be limited by anything. So this is the aspect of the observer-created reality. When you create consciously, you are one with divine intelligence. There is no separation. Now, every one of us today knows we are dealing in circumstances in the world now that are also unprecedented and in many ways can be disconcerting. So in terms of mastery, we can say what we're really mastering is our ability to create our relationship to our circumstances in a way that inspires and uplifts us and everyone around us. We may not have control over the circumstances. However, the one thing we do have absolute sovereignty over is how we choose to be related to those circumstances. It is in that relationship where we exercise our mastery. This is spirituality. This is spiritual life. Mastery of your own mind, command of your own state, establishing yourself in the highest sublime state. This is your gift to the world, your gift to a world united, united in peace, harmony, joy, compassion, and love. How does it happen? It begins by consciously choosing. You can do that right now if you haven't already. Consciously choosing a life of mastery. We're here to be masters as enlightened, fully self-realized being. In this 21st century, what I like to say it this way, this is no longer an exclusive, elusive domain of a small group of spiritual elite who in previous eras paved the way of self-realization for us. Today, to honor the masters that came before us, to honor their message and their wisdom, to honor them is to attain their state as fully awakened, conscious masters ourselves. That is our privilege, that is our dharma, and that is our profound honor. Thank you very much.